In today's tutorial, let's work on the Patchwork Super Scarf, another free pattern using Karen Cake's yarn. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Patchwork Super Scarf, and this is a really neat scarf featuring a granny square that is made into a super scarf. Today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make it smaller if you wish and show you how to do everything step by step. So today we're going to be working on a granny square that has a circle center and then eventually turns into a square. There's only 3 revolutions in order to make each one, and then what you need to do is you need to complete them all and then just start to whip stitch them together, and I'll show you how to whip stitch as well. So I just showed you how to do a little mini example. So why would you do this in the Karen Cake yarn versus other yarns? Well, it's the transition of colors. So you can see that you have the centers and it'll change automatically on its own. Therefore you'll have squares that will appear to be a different color but are actually part of the same ball. So you can see where it transitioned here. So as you work through your Karen Cake ball, if you would like to, it just will change on its own, and so you'll end up with 44 different looking granny squares, and then you just have to mix and match in order to put them together. But let me tell you how to make this smaller if you wish. So today's pattern is a super scarf, and it's telling you to make 44 of these mini squares, and they're gonna go side by side all the way up through, and you can see the model is wearing it like that as well. So if you don't want a scarf that's 110 inches, well, you can just simplify, right? So it takes 3 balls to do the entire super scarf, but for 1.5 balls you can do half the size. That will be about 55 inches. So if you only do 22 of these squares and then sew them together, and then you can add your fringe, then you can have a scarf that's half the size and maybe more manageable depending on your personality and whatever you have for fashion desires. Once you have all your 44 done, I would recommend putting them down on the table, kind of mix and match them, and don't make them look like they float. Part of this is looking artistic and having accent colors, so just randomly place your squares as you go. So let me tell you a little bit more about the square itself, and let me show you that. So here is the granny square. It consists of 3 rounds, and we're going to be doing cluster work. If that's going to scare you, the word cluster, don't let it. It's actually quite simple. And so we're going to start off with the chain in the middle, and then we're going to work our way around to create the 8 spokes as you have, and then we're going to continue to be in a full circle in round number 2, and then it's round number 3 that's going to simplify it to make it into a square. Very simple to do, I have to say. I found with myself I was slow on the very first one that I did right here, but then once I did the second one I was much faster because I understand the pattern and I know exactly where to go. So if you're slow in the first one, don't let that deter you. It's always the first one that's always the hardest one, these granny squares, in order to get used to the pattern. So without further ado, let's grab our size 5mm size H crochet hook today. Let's grab our Karen Cakes and let me show you how to make one of these squares, and then at the end of this I'll show you how to whip stitch, and you'll have a beautiful seam just like you see here. So let's begin with the slip knot. Remember that this is kind of more for people that are experienced with crochet, in the sense that you know exactly what you're doing. So I'm not going to teach you as if you're brand new to crochet and you'd never crocheted a day in your life. So let's chain up 6, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's insert our hook into the beginning chain. Just go into the beginning, yarn over, pull through and through, and you will now have the center ring of your granny square. Let's move along to round number 1. In round number 1 it says to beginning cluster in the ring and then chain 3, cluster, chain 3, and etc. Let me just kind of make that more simple for you to understand. So beginning cluster is what happens when you don't have anything to grab onto. For example, we need to build this up higher in order to go into a full revolution, and so you need to do a beginning clusters when that needs to happen. So beginning cluster, let's do it together. We're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I want you to insert your hook into the center ring. So let's do a double crochet into the center ring. So just going in, yarning over, pull through, and I only want you to pull through 2 loops this time. Don't pull through anything more. Keep it onto the hook. Let's do that again. So we're gonna wrap the hook going into the center ring, pull through 2, and hold this. You will now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That is a beginning cluster. Okay, so that's the beginning one, and all the rest of them are just regular clusters. So what we need to do now is that we need to put 7 more clusters into the center ring, and what separates the clusters is chaining of 3. So let's do that. So 1, 2, and 3, and let's do a regular cluster. So a regular cluster is almost the same thing, but we're not gonna start off with a chain 3. We're gonna wrap the hook going into the center of the ring, pull through 2, and hold. Just hold that on your hook and do it again. You want to continue to do it like this until you get 4 loops on your hook, and do it one more time. just like that. So now you have your 4. So see how these 3 are working together? Yarn over, pull through all of it. And now let's do another cluster. So another cluster is chaining a 3. So 1, 2, 3. Let's separate those clusters and let's put another one into the ring. So yarn over, put in, okay, and you're gonna continue to cluster just like you have been. So the beginning one you only do right at the very beginning, the rest of them are just regulars. So then you're doing another one. So chain 3 to separate them and coming back into the ring, and I'm gonna speed back up to my regular speed, and you can really whip these off real quick. Okay, so chain 3 to separate them, 1, 2, 2 and 3. I should be able at the end to count 8 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting that beginning cluster as one of them because there should be a total of 8. If you ever have an odd number with these kind of things and you're doing a square, then you know something's wrong. So 1, 2, 3, I'm separating and I'm clustering again. So now you're noticing I'm starting to run out of space in the center ring. Is that a big deal? No, not at all. So what you can do, because you are playing in the ring, you can just shift it. So just pull that and you can see it's moving around. So 1, 2, 3 separates them again. So for myself, I don't tend to count the clusters as they go. I count when I think there's enough and then I just kind of verify. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So chain 3. I got one more to go. Just like that. Easy. Now this is the final one. So there's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And to finish this round off you chain 3. 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch it to the top of the beginning cluster like that, and that is round number 1. Okay, let's begin round number 2. So we're gonna shift over to this chain 3 space with the slip stitch. So just insert your hook right into that space, yarning over and pulling through, and now that just shifted you onto that space. So we're gonna start off with the beginning cluster first. Do you remember how to do that? Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to start doing the cluster, and you're gonna go in to that same space and you keep doing that until you get 3 loops. You only ever have 4 when it's not the beginning, but this is the beginning, so you only have 3. So you're yarning over and pulling through. So you're gonna put another cluster into the same space. So in order to separate the clusters, remember what we did? We chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then coming back into that same one, we're gonna cluster as normal. So you want to get it and keep doing it until you get your 4 loops on the hook, yarning over and pulling through them all. So here's the thing, every one of these spaces are gonna get exactly the same thing. Okay, so it's gonna be a cluster, chain 3, cluster. So in order to move to the next one you have to chain 1 only first and then start the same thing. So we're gonna cluster into the next one. So this round will appear round after you're done with this one. So chain 3 and then cluster back into that same space. So remember, every space is going to get the same thing. A cluster, chain 3, cluster. Okay, so we're gonna move to the next space. So we're gonna chain up 1 and then move to the next one. We're gonna cluster, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3 and cluster back in. Just like that. So please do that all the way around and I'll see you at the end of this revolution. So I'm coming up all the way to the final and I'm just doing my last cluster into the last space. Okay, so I got a cluster, chain 3, cluster, pull through. In order to join it to the first one that you started with, you chain 1 only and then just join it to the top of the beginning cluster that you had started with, and that concludes off round number 2. So just verify and go through. You got a cluster there, there's 2 of those in that one, 2 there, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. If you just take a really quick look, make sure it's all there, and because it won't work out if you go for round number 3 at this point. So let me move you to round 3 and let me show you a little secret. So let's begin round number 3. First of all, what I want to say to you is that I want you to pay attention to these chain 3 spaces. Don't pay attention to these chain 1s that separate these clusters. Okay? Don't worry about those. Just ignore those. When I did this the very first time I was worrying about those and I shouldn't have been, and I was off count. So don't even worry about this chain 1 spaces. Just worry about the chain 3. So let's move over first and we're going to just move over with the slip stitch and then begin. So we're going to create corners. So we're going to create a corner, flat space, corner, flat space, and keep going around that. So you end up with your 4 sides. So let's chain up 3 first. So 1, 2, 3. We're no longer doing any more clusters. That's finished for us. And we're gonna place 2 more double crochets into that same space. So we're gonna create our first corner right now. So to do the corner, it's gonna be a total of 3 double crochets. This chain 3 counts as one of them. And then you're gonna chain 3. And then coming into the exact same space, you're going to put in 3 more double crochets. And that just does your 90-degree turn for a corner. Okay, so let's think about this. So we're gonna chain up 1 first. So just chain 1 and just watch. So this chain 1 space here, just ignore it. Move right here to the next chain 3 space where these clusters are separating. Just like that. You see that? And I want you to place in 3 double crochets. This is a flat edge, so there's no corner here. It's gonna look a little unusual right now, but you just got to get a little bit further into it and then it will start making sense. Chain 1. Okay, so you're chaining 1 in between these double crochets. Move to the next chain 3 space, so skip right over that chain 1, go right to there and create another corner. So the corner is 3 double crochet and then chain 3 and then 3 double crochet, all in the same space. And now you got another 90-degree turn. So let's see if you know what you're doing. So you're gonna chain up 1 first, move to the next chain 3 space, skip over that chain 1, go to the next chain 3 and do a flat edge, which is 3 double crochets in a row. And don't drop your stitches like I just did. It'll take you longer. So let me reset myself. Happens to the best of us. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, chain 1 and then move to the next chain 3 space and that is another corner. So there's 3 double crochet and then chain 3 and 3 double crochet and there's another corner right there. So we're converting that circle into a square at this moment. Okay, chain 1. Okay, go to the next chain 3 space and create a flat edge. So it's just 3 double crochet in a row. Okay, chain 1 and then go to the next chain 3 space. Here's another corner. So essentially if you think about it, corners are every other chain 3 space. If that helps you to understand that. Then chain 3 and then coming into the same one, here's another corner. Now the very first one that we started with was a corner, so you have to just be watching for that when you come back around because it's coming right back up right here. You see that? So we're gonna chain up 1 and the next chain 3 space, which is the last one that was available to you, is just a flat space. So there's 3 double crochet there and then followed by chain 1 and then just slip stitch it to the top of the beginning chain 3 and that's all there is to it. And now you've gone all the way around. Let me just kind of stretch things back out. So you've gone all the way around here. You've done a circle, you did another circle, and now you just did a square. So let me show you how to fasten off and then I'm gonna show you how to whip stitch these together. Okay, so let's begin to fasten off. So I'm gonna cut this string. So you're gonna do 44 of these if you're doing the super scarf, and if you're doing any other sizes just do less or more. You can even do whole afghans like this. Just pull the loop through, and what I would recommend for you is that you don't want loose tails hanging out all over your work. So what I would recommend is that throw your yarn through a darning needle just like this, and if you weave it in and out of your work 3 times it'll never fall out. So just going across into the stitch work, kind of staying underneath. Don't go into the top edge so that you don't see it. Just stay underneath and drag it through. And don't reef down on it. You just want it being snug but not tight, and then go back in the other direction through a different path for 2 and then one more time in the other direction for 3. Your work can never stretch in 3 directions at one time, so therefore this will never fall out on you. And now you can cut it right safely down to the project and you will virtually not see where you finished off. It'll be a little bit of an imperfection but not to the point where you're gonna have nasty tails hanging out. So let's move along and I'm gonna show you how to whip stitch these together, and let me give you some advice with that. So here we have a little mini diagram, and this is going to be your squares. So there's going to be two side by side working all the way through the length, and what I would recommend is that you lay them down on a table and kind of mix and match all the colors so that they're kind of looking like they're gonna blend properly but also have accenting using your yarn. What I'd recommend is that the first seam line go right directly through the middle. So you're just gonna work with two, and then you're gonna immediately jump and join the next two with the seam, join the next two, and keep on moving down. And at the very end of this, what's gonna happen is that you're not gonna have any of these in this way completely sewn. You're only gonna have it this way, and then go back and then just sew these edges individually like this. I think it's just easier, and you can then lay out all your colors all the way through the scheme without kind of messing up if you're to do it side by side if you're gonna join it that way. So that's completely optional to you. I will leave that to your discretion, and then I'm gonna show you how to be able to do this so that you can have a nice really blending seam just like this, and therefore everything will work out quite nicely. Let me show you how to do that. So this kind of stitching is called the whip stitching, and you see that it's going up on an angle like this, and therefore it blends really quite nicely. And what's happening is that you have a very beautiful line, and because the way that I've done it is that it doesn't look like it's all just ramming together. It looks like it's flowing, and it has a little bit of stretch at the same time. So what I want you to do is that I want you to concentrate on the edging. So you can see that you have two strands, and two of those equal one stitch. Okay, just like that. But if you go into the opposite one, so the farther one, that's called a back loop, and the one in front is called a front loop. And so what we need to do is that we need to pay attention to these loops on how they're joining together. And let me show you a little bit of technique in order to be able to hide in your loose ends, but also look for those in order to attach it to its neighbor. So a little technique I like to do is that get a long enough strand to be able to do it. So with this 110 inches, I would not get a 110 inch strand. I would do it in sections in order to keep the string manageable on your darning needle. Put one side and make it into a slip knot, and just leave it out to the side like this. Okay, so leave that out. And I would take the other side of the string and feed it through your darning needle. And I'll show you why I'm doing that, because I want to show you how to lock this into position, and therefore you don't have to worry about anything falling out. So what I want you to do is that I want you to have the right sides facing up. How do you know what's the right side? See how it's kind of bowling up toward me? This is the right side. It's facing towards me. So if it's gonna bowl down, okay, so if it's bowling down, then you know it's the wrong side. That's just an easy way to turn. So you can turn yours any which way. Each side are equal to each other. They're all the same. And what I want you to do is that I want you to pay attention to where these loops are. So remember what I said, you have the front loop and the back loop. So just kind of, if you have to, just kind of like front sides up, just kind of force them up like this, and you know that they're gonna be equaling each other. It's just a great way to do it, because sometimes you're just grabbing things and all of a sudden one can be upside down, and if you don't realize it, you will see it completely when you're wearing it. So just put the front sides up and just kind of sandwich them up, and they kind of come up on each other. Now remember that there was 3 chains in a corner. So what I want you to do in the corner is that I want you to start on the middle one, and don't go into both loops. I want you to go on the one that yours right in front of you, go into the back loop only, and the other side I want you to look for the one is the front loop. So it's the one closest to you. So it's the third one in, and go for the front loop. Once you start getting this established, it gets very easy to follow. So go in the front loop only of that side. So what's gonna happen here is that you are leaving this front loop alone, and you're leaving what appears to be the other back loop alone. So therefore you'll have a nice finish. So pull the needle through, and right when you get to that that slip knot, I want you to feed that yarn through, and that's gonna lock that into position. And I want you to lay down this straggler on top of it, so it's gonna trap in the next position. So the next one is just a chain, and you're just gonna follow each one of these stitches. So the next one's a chain on this side, so therefore the next one, so you go into the back loop of this one, and I'm leaving this down on front so it gets stuck in, and I'm gonna go into the front loop of this one. So just directly across, leaving down that straggler. If you can trap that straggler, you don't have to worry about it later, and just pull through. So you notice I'm not going crazy when I pull through. So here is a double crochet. I'm going in the back loop of that one, and then I'm gonna go in the front loop of the first double crochet on this side. I'm matching stitch to stitch as a whip stitch. And what this is doing is it's creating a beautiful seam. So I don't want to reef down too hard on this thing. You can honestly stretch it if you have to. So you move to the next stitch, so back loop, the next stitch on the other side, which is the front loop, and I want to keep that straggler down on top so it gets stuck underneath the position. And I try to drag that straggler for about an inch or two before I cut it, and therefore it'll never be seen, or nor will it ever fall out on you. So here's another double crochet here, and this is the final double crochet on this side. Okay, so next is a chain one space, so I'm just going into one of the loops, the back loop only on that one, and then I'm going to the front loop on that one. I'm gonna let this straggler fall out of the way now, and I'm just gonna go to the front loop on the other side of the chain. Once you get rid of that straggler, it just gets easier to kind of come along. So you're gonna have to find your rhythm when you're sewing this together. So the next one's a double crochet, and you want to take your time. I actually enjoy the sewing process. To some people it's a deal breaker. Me, I actually don't mind this because it means that all your squares are done and you're pretty well in the final stages, and you'll be able to wear it in no time. So as you work your way across and you understand this more and more, you will speed up. So I'm gonna speed up to my regular self. So I'm just gonna go. So once I'm done this particular square, I would move on to the next square and join it. Let me just put that back in there. So what I would do is that even though you see two are already joined like that, I did that for tutorial reasons to show you how to do it. But the reality is that I would line them all up on their sides and just keep going down an edge. You got to do what works for you and do what a system that is easier for you to manage. So once you get to a corner like this, you continue along. So the first chain is gonna match to the first chain. The second chain, which is the exact corner, is gonna match to the middle chain of the one across. But if you got two that are joined like this, you just want to go right into the same one on the other side. So I don't have any more squares to join at this point, but I would just continue to move along and get the next square up and join it just like you see, and then at the end I would come back and do this. So normally this would not have been done at this moment. So once you're completely done with that, what I would do is just tie a knot. So if you got all the way to the end, just tie a knot, or if you have to do multiple strands, just tie a knot. And remember what I said, so just turn it over and go back and forth 3 times on the back, keeping it to the back side look of this, so just across. So 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm gonna show you how to do fringe in just a second. And then the other straggler that you were burying up until a certain point is gonna be hanging out. You can trim that down, and therefore you have a beautiful join, and that's what it looks like at that time. So let's add fringe. So for this particular scarf, it's asking you to cut 2 18-inch long strands like so. So there's 2 different strands here, and I happen to get one that's not quite the same length, but what I like to do at the very end of it is that I like to trim all the strands down anyway so that they're kind of all equal. So what I want you to do is take the strand and just kind of pull it out like this and then fold it in half. Okay, so you got it folded in half. And in this particular circumstance it says to go evenly across. So what I would do is that every stitch going across I would put fringe in. So in this one here I'll start it right on a corner, you might as well, and then just pull the 2 loops through and then pull them all of the stragglers through those loops, and that is your fringe. That's it. So there is your fringe now hanging from it, and then what you would do is just do another 18 inches and then go to the next one, pull it through and form your fringe just like that. So it's really quite easy and simple to do. So that's it for today. This is the patchwork scarf. This is featuring Caron Cakes yarn. Please enjoy this tutorial and have a super day. We'll see you. Bye bye.